Hey everyone, Jeff here from InfoMarketerZone.com. Glad you could join us today. We're going to talk about one thing and one thing only in this video today. It's going to be quick and to the point, but it's going to be incredibly useful for you. And it's all about what are the first 3 steps that you need to take if you want to launch your online business. Doesn't matter what kind of business it is. It could be selling other people's products, could be selling your own products, could be just trying to get traffic to monetize that traffic at a later date. What I find is that a lot of people come to us asking, do I start with the website? Do I put a blog up? Do I get a Facebook account? Do I start with some sort of ClickBank product or an affiliate product? Or, all of these questions about where, really the question is, where do they start? What is it that you do first, and how can you turn that into, as quickly as possible, a business that's making money? So I wanted to work through this with you today and really answer some of those questions. Okay, so let's start with step 1, and step 1 is all about it's all about the niche market, right? So let's get that down. The niche market that you're going to choose. What is the actual interest or passion that you're going to go after? And so niche market is made up of 2 things. One of them is an interest, right? And the other is the commercial potential or the commercial value of that market. And you really need both. Why do you need both? Well, you need the interest to keep you going those late nights. You need to put work into this, right? This is not it's not that you just sit there and money's going to come to you. You need to put work into it. Now, we can show you how, but you'd still need to put work into it. And I find that people, if they have an interest in the topic that they're writing about, that they're producing content on, that they are living and breathing, that attracts the money into them, that it helps an awful lot. But interest alone, of course, is not enough. It also has to have commercial value. And commercial value just simply means that there is a desire matched with a proven trend towards spending, that there are buyers out in the community, right? And that's sort of 2 things that you need to gauge when you pick your niche. Your niche could be hobby-based, it could be a career-based, it could be experience, it could be something that you don't know anything about, or even have a burning passion for, but you certainly have an interest enough to go and explore it a little bit further and dig into it and take your community along with it, which brings us to our second step. The other thing you want to do to build a successful online business today is something called community. And community is made up of several things. It's made up of blogging. It's made up of your social network, right? It is made up of your list. It's made up of your article readers. It's made up of your video eyeballs, right? So really what I'm talking about here is any method, and you should be using multiple methods, but it really depends on the strengths. You got a guy like Gary Vaynerchuk who's out there who does really well at videos and live events. So he builds his community based on video blogging. You've got some other people that are very adept at writing, so they build their audience through content curation and content creation. You've got other people that are networkers or social by nature, so they build their communities on social, right? So you've got to figure out what are your strengths and how you build community. But the bottom line is what you need people visiting you on an ongoing basis. Well, how do you do that? Well, you produce content that is not just content for content's sake, or not just a bunch of information. It's content that is designed, right? Designed to build community. That's the important piece. And how do you develop content that builds community? Well, just think about how do you build your communities outside of the internet, right? It's conversation. It's having interesting things to say. It's making a point of going out and meeting people. It's understanding what those people think is interesting. It's water cooler chat. It's understanding that people are multidimensional beings that don't always want to just talk about the specific topic, but want to talk about related topics, things that they may feel are important as well. You want to have conversations with these people, right? So every one of these tools, if you look at blogging, for example, your blog should really be blog posts that are designed to start conversations, not to just share information, right? It should be take a point of view on something and then ask your audience for their view on it. Get them participating. Same with social networking. It should be some statements about what you're doing in your day that your community might find interesting, and also some questions. Ask, it's like a relationship. It's a community that you're building. Same with your list building. So you build a list of subscribers by maybe giving away an incentive, but then you need to dialogue with those. You need to keep them as part of the community. You want to drive them back to your blog, drive them back to your social network. You want to email them and get them involved in the conversation. Article readers, same thing. Your articles are designed not to inform so much as they are to interest and attract attention to you and pull them back into your social community, right? And the same thing with videos. So all of that, it's sort of a way of thinking in terms of all your content creation as to what your main objective is. And it's really to pull together a community. Okay, so then what's step 3? Well, after you have built the niche, decided on the niche, and you've built a community around that, well, it's really at that point, it's sell stuff, right? It's as simple as that. So when you've built that niche, you've focused in on a community that are a very specific group of people with very specific desires and needs, and it has commercial value, and you've built a community. You've got a group of friends in that particular niche, and this can happen with as few as 500-600 and be built into the hundreds of thousands, right? But the idea is you can start to build the community really quickly, and then find out what are some of the things that will help them out, and you can make recommendations, and that's how you sell stuff, right? So it's recommending that, hey, I've used product XYZ. I think you really find it useful to solve problem Z, and so go and buy it through my link. Hey, it's a recommendation. I've used it. I've tried it. I find it really good, or I've heard good recommendations about it. Those sorts of things, right? And it really comes down to that, folks. These are the 3 simple steps to get you going. Everything in your business, when you get going, tune everything else out. What you really want to do is figure out which niche is going to both interest you and offers commercial value that you're going to want to focus in on, right? And then start building a community. That should be your very first steps in terms of finding tools and setting up websites and platforms. And you can do that as simply as setting up a free WordPress blog on your domain, right? And start blogging on a daily basis to build your community. Again, with the point of view of building a community. Well, here's some examples. I just saw a new study on, let's say your community are like-minded people who want to get in better shape. Well, I just saw a new article come out yesterday that talks about a brand new exercise that can improve your health fourfold, and then you share the link with them and you have a discussion around that, right? Or a new scientific study that came out, or something you've tried. Let's say you've gone out and you've done an exceptionally good run and you found a tip that you want to share with your community, and again, get them commenting on that. So that's the whole idea. And then share those posts with your social network. Say, hey, I just put a new post on my blog about a new study that came out about losing weight or getting more fit, and then you link back to it from your social network into your blog, and you start coming up with questions around it. Hey, anyone got an opinion on this new study that came out, right? In your social network, you link back to the blog, and people are going to comment either on your social network or on the blog. You send a blast out to your list and say, hey, I just did a new blog post about this new study that came out. Really like to hear your opinion on it. Articles, you would publish an article about your opinion on that study, and then you maybe post a blog post that references to the article. So it's all that sort of intertwined content, but all with the same exclusive purpose of building community. And then once you've got your community, you can recommend things to them. And we can talk about that a little bit later. There are ways to do that where you build a sales funnel and you can walk people through the sales cycle. But believe me, if you follow this process alone and you just offer them something every few days in their niche, you're going to sell stuff and you're going to make big money doing this. This is the basis of all of sort of the new e-commerce model online. So follow these steps. I hope this helps you get started, simplifies the process. If you have any questions, be sure to post them underneath this video. Hope you found it valuable. We'll come up with a new video. Subscribe to this channel because we're going to be doing lots more videos answering real practical questions based on hundreds of businesses that we've helped out there. So bye-bye for now. It's Jeff Smith from InfoMarketerZone.com. See you soon.